From Fox Cities Stadium here in Grand Chute, Wisconsin, day one of the 2014 Division III World Series is complete. 4 teams in the winner's bracket, 4 teams facing elimination on a Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. I'm Pat Coleman for D3Sports.com, joined by Jim Dixon, the editor of D3Baseball.com. As we take you through this interesting first day, we had a couple of blowouts, a couple of tight games, and even the blowouts were interesting. And I think, Jim, starting way back at the beginning of the day, to think that way back when we started, St. Thomas would put a 5 spot up on the 2-time D3Baseball.com Pitcher of the Year in Chris Hadeland, and then Eric Veglin would take a perfect game into the 8th inning, and the defending champs are suddenly on the ropes as they lose to St. Thomas 10-0.
When you looked at Hadeland, he really looked uncomfortable today on the mound, and we've heard that there are problems with the mound, but it didn't really affect a lot of the other pitchers. It certainly didn't affect Verlin, because he just had a spectacular day.
Veglin ended the day with 2 hits. No balls really hit hard off of him. A little blooper that fell in front of left field to lead off the 8th inning. That ended the perfect game. He struck out 12, walked just 1, and really. St. Thomas is a team that's really senior laden. 15 seniors. For them, this is the year they have to do it because they're going to be losing a lot of guys.
This really is the year to do it, and they lost a great player in their first baseman, Peterson, and what they've been able to do, sit there without the MIAC Player of the Year, it's just fabulous, and they continue to hit, and they find the people that they need to win games.
On Friday in the first round, it was J.D. Dorgan, 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs for St. Thomas to give them the win. Veglin improved to 9-0. Hadeland just his second loss on the season. He fell to 11-2. Those 5 runs, only 3 of them earned. There were a couple of really hard hit balls off of him, though, that one of them that certainly could have been called a hit.
They really were, and a lot of those errors could have been called hits. And when you look at Linfield, they're one of the top 2 fielding teams in the nation, and you really wouldn't expect them to field the ball the way they did.
Linfield will come back tomorrow. They'll be facing elimination at 10 a.m. They will be playing Emory. Emory lost to Baldwin Wallace 5-4. Emory put up a 4 spot in the bottom half of the second inning in this game, Jim, and then Baldwin Wallace recovered, certainly with the help of a great relief performance out of the bullpen.
It really was. They came in with runners on first or second and third with no outs. The reliever came in, struck out 2, got a pop-up. They were out of the inning. 5 more strong innings, and, Baldwin Wallace was in control.
Yeah, you got to give John Capadona the game ball for that one. As he mentioned, 6 innings all told, 4 hits allowed, shutout innings. Alex Albright started. He went an inning plus, gave up 4 runs. In that second inning, Jim, there's a ball hit back up the middle, hit off of Albright's foot. And then next batter or a couple batters later, bunt laid down. Albright comes off the mound to field it, slips and falls, and kind of after that, it seemed like he might have lost his composure even a little bit, or at least lost his focus. I shouldn't say composure; that's a different thing.
You got to really credit the Emory Eagles. This is to take advantage of those miscues when they happen. But unfortunately for Emory, 4 runs was not enough.
Yeah, Baldwin Wallace came back with 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th to come away with the 5-4 lead. Capadona with the win. He improved to 5-2. It was Kyle Monk in relief. He took the loss to fall to 3-2, and Brandon Chikaki with save number 9. As we mentioned, Emory will face Linfield in an elimination game. That's the first game, Game 5 on Saturday morning. I would say our afternoon set, or our second 2 games, start off with a great battle between 2 teams and 2 athletic departments, shall we say, that are very familiar with each other. As Cortland State defeated Salisbury 4-3. These are first of all, baseball teams that face each other on a regular basis. They played 2 regular season games this year back in February. They've had many battles, these schools, on the men's lacrosse field, and they're 2 teams that are pretty darn good in football in that part of the country as well. But these are also, it was also a matchup between 2 of the most successful coaches in Division III baseball right now.
It really was. Joe Brown has an excellent record. He's the top active coach in terms of winning percentage. Fleetwood follows him next, and this is Fleetwood's last trip to the World Series, and let's hope he gets at least one more game after today.
Doug Fleetwood is also a assistant coach in football. He's going to be focusing on that for the remainder. He's done some great stuff with the Salisbury team, which was on a really big roll coming into Appleton.
They really were, but Salisbury could not take advantage of 5 miscues by Cortland. Also, Cortland, one of the top defenses in the nation, just couldn't get the job done. But their offense was just enough to sit there and get them a win.
Yeah, it was hard to tell that on Friday, that's for sure. They committed 5 errors, a couple of which gave Salisbury a chance to get back in the game and made the 9th inning a little bit of an adventure. Anthony Simon at shortstop committed 4 of those errors himself. And on the other side of the diamond, Mark D'Amelio, the second baseman, made a huge leaping grab to start a 4-3 line-out double play that kept them from getting in more trouble.
That probably was the play of the game because that kept Cortland ahead, and they just shut the door in the 9th inning.
Yeah, I know Emory had a play that was on SportsCenter's top 10 plays, but that catch by Mark D'Amelio should have been on there as well. And who knows, you could tweet SC top 10 with the hashtag, and if you have video, maybe that'll work. Who knows? It's already worked once on Friday. It would be great to have 2 Division III plays in the top 10. So it was Mark Palumbo getting the win. He improved to 8-0. Brett Kalachi, who was their 12-game winner coming in, pitched on just 3 days rest before we leave this game as he falls to 12-2. And I know Salisbury had some other options, and I know Joe Brown was kind of surprised when he found out 45 minutes before the game that Kalachi was going to get the call.
And I figured there were a lot of people surprised that the pitchers that were coming because even Cortland didn't lead with their ace. They wanted to give their ace pitcher, McLean, another day, and they know that Pomado would be able to sit there and recover much quicker. So the Cortland State has really set up their pitching rotation for a win.
Yeah, Palumbo did a great job on Friday and has them in position to come in with one of their top starters on Saturday, and then obviously Cortland's guaranteed to be playing on Sunday since they won here in the first round. Our final game, the nightcap between University of Wisconsin Whitewater and Southern Maine. Frankly, this game was almost over after the top of the second because Whitewater jumped out to a 6-0 lead. I started writing my game story at that time, and I didn't really have to fix it. I didn't have to change much of anything because Southern Maine just never really got back into the game, and they didn't really have much of a clue against Scott Plaza, who went 7 shutout innings.
You got to really look at the performance of batting for Michael Pierce. He just had a fantastic day. He had a double and a triple in the first 2 innings, and he really was the spark plug that sit there and got the Warhawks going today.
Yeah, Pierce hit a ball out to the 405 sign in right center field for a triple in the first inning to plate a pair of runs. Then he laced a double down the left field line on a ball that he said in the post-game news conference, which of course you can watch if you haven't already. A ball that he said he was not looking for. It was just a changeup that he was I think on a full count that he said he was just trying to get rid of. He was just trying to waste, and he ended up lashing it for a double. And then he hits a ball about 390 feet to the 405 sign that Chris Bernard, of the right fielder for Southern Maine, did a great job tracking down.
He really did. And if he doesn't catch that ball, Pierce is off to the races, and he would have been at third base with a school record 10th triple of the season.
Still has a chance to get that as they face Cortland State in the 7:45 game on Saturday. That's our second game in the winner's bracket. First game in the winner's bracket between Baldwin Wallace and St. Thomas. Let's go back to Baldwin Wallace for a second. Jim, this is a team that needed help just to get into the Ohio Athletic Conference tournament, 4-team tournament. All 4 of those teams end up going to the NCAA playoffs, but Baldwin Wallace was the one that was most concerned about where it sat on the bubble on Sunday night, waiting for that call.
Well, it was nice to see them get a call and nice to see them get some recognition. The team already set a record for wins, and every win they add on just adds on to the record. And you really got to give credit to Brian Harrison, their head coach. He has really got a program that's coming out here to play.
Yep, in his 4th season with Baldwin Wallace. We mentioned earlier, of course, Linfield and Emory in the first elimination game. Second elimination game between Southern Maine and Cortland. That game is at 1:15. Back to Linfield for a second, Jim. They're a team that obviously they're defending national champs. We may have gotten lulled into the thought of the fact that maybe someone could repeat in Division III baseball since it hadn't happened in 35 years before really recently again. And then, Linfield comes out, drops their first one, and they have a really tough road if they want to defend now.
Anybody who loses in the first round has a really tough road. You got to win 6 more games. And when you're facing some of the better teams in Division III baseball, winning 6 here is going to be pretty tough.
I noticed that today St. Thomas was not afraid to run on Jake Wiley, the Linfield catcher, and they face a team on Saturday in Emory that really likes to put pressure on the base paths.
I think you're going to have a lot of fun watching the base paths and watching the game between St. Thomas and Emory.
So it's Jim Dixon. I'm Pat Coleman. We will do this wrap up each of the 5 days here from Grand Chute, Wisconsin. And if you're really crazy, you could go back and watch these things that we've done all the way back to 2009. I would not recommend that. We've got a lot of games going on here. 4 more games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, 2 games on Monday, and up to 2 games on Tuesday to decide and determine who will take home walnut and bronze here for the 2014 Division III baseball season. So, as I said, we'll have more video coverage from Appleton. You can also check out our videos of all the post-game news conferences. You can check out photos from d3photography.com. You can catch all our game stories and all the stats and all the other wrap-ups. Also, follow us on Twitter at D3Baseball. And we will be back with more from Grand Chute, Wisconsin as the weekend goes on.